Abusia obi mfre baba jama law firm non kan twem so manya mesko we a big question and then trouble finally Mama Akosua Serwaa any chesetim legal wife for request for a divorce letter responder de Tr0uble de ma chese Mama Akosua Serwaa no finally eno ene de adu so manhia so anyemfo bi ho akaka adwam a chese abusia nkomo no aye beble we eye 2-in-1 and ye de blow eye Tr0uble TV and no first time I be subscribe you and like watch your videos ama for so atimi enya bi ahwe am no abohomoden no follow ye e other social media platforms ni na bibia enya kama emfa emaya abusia ade anyi ana akwakofa sansem ya bai asisi ye demand for a divorce letter respond bestaw yenkonkotie mu nkiremu emfamra
na de bia sembia this ko pio tumfo ani we ya sama wasan ko pio tumfo ani
enya ve the kingdom politics wada bio microphone no what mute oh
me kayo minim se audio no wotiri mi tie audio bi na eye nipa ne bo ni din oso ode
audio ayabo wa ha
o say
audio ni abo wa ha na obi platform so asen
be ma man wa ha metin will be pray for a platform this
and am body because you need can some tranko bo be dey ni ho dance why to the can some na opesa wo kana
okay mate nti na enipa na kire say o so omukọ ayemfo na omo hwe asam no so no o so omukọ osa ayemfo no so na omukọ sha ayemfo no na ayemfo no etumi kabi ma wo mo nti mi de ye fane se edenu mi tie no na ha me pa nti se sa mo yes etumi yesu se omo pese omo sadi ebusupeni sasia na je se eye popo a omo apo nti na ma we ni nyina eba nti na je se me so kakra me kanon
me pa choyo yeah, that's a pa. Me passion within the say okay free.
My friend is 7.
You
because of Germany.
That's 7 passion. Me passion into that's 7. Me passion into that's 7.
You better was so baby for
na empanifo no kura ayaba ko pe ye twetwa agua nyina o mbekaka kire se na nanom se ani de ebesi na nanom se ni de ebesi nda nanom se ni de ebesi nyina no se mo prepa se entam no na nipa na fom panti ana wasa chenchira ebeka so retu park ada so ya busua panyina ada ni ema state ya de ni wo no enkonkon ho ni amfa asam ni nkwaduru ya wurani wonka because onka obi antam waka ya rantam eti wasa asam no ba bia gira sesi ai se nipa se ebedi no kura na ba bia asam ni gira sesi ai no obi afun otu obi mfun yo ni mampanyimfo ye ani de ya wura pa akoso hene aye ni nyina no e wasa konkon wasa ya ye kwa ba ma ye kire wura anga mo ho efie ma se wo batu no na nanu so de krata aba antam so ho de se ama yo ya ana ekoso abusia panyini no so oda so abusia panyini na ye wura nka sa asem no adenti ne ntumi fa nkọ ama ye wura nka sa asem no na wo se chinchinchi a wo se beto so obi na so ya busua panyini yente the whole thing na se cause enyama pin akokoso a anya amane ani amamra ana abusua mu asem so no mo ka abusua bi no mo kire se emu ma eni di padodo na ahia so mo mpa abusua panyini bi enti wo se konko ho Spani be kan tam as abusua panyini na empanyimfo ne ma ni nyina so beno a enwo ho sa ne enko bo charge nkyere ye wura se enipa na be kan tam an oya abusua be kan tam egu ohweto no ema ni so beno obetu no ama hin ni kwa ka tamba ani enko bo ama ne nkyere ye wura no no enka na asem ni ntam asem na pa Akosua hine de abusuafo onka kire obi aso wo ho na onko ho on de so mudi ka fra no wanko ntisana no ho fa no ana ho fa na reason ti a wanko minim na mente wi a kire sa na me ya adom a wo mu date bi o ma sha o mo kan o mente sa ebe de be no wanwa enti ye kwa ni bi a ono no na afa de o tsesa de o ye yo onka sa de oye no asesa na adwene eno o mesesa na no eno o mesesa hwe ogina enti wono anka sa de minim na montu a o tu so obekọ ana wonko ehwo ne de minim ono no so obekọ ana wonko de minim na ebom sani ese o krata kwa mfumso krata na mfiri ho e meka se ni ade no eno so de wa anye eti wani yegina aha adwene papa enso tane ebso me say ebe tane ya hu bi ne kanu na aden wan se ni pado ma koma kodi ade achi a ya na ne kanu e hu bi ho kakra but ebe tane what the first sign baby nso nka moma yenya abotre e dia sam na sabis bi nka kakra ye hye nsam ya se eka ka enkotwetwe ma mona man ko na sam nya kasa na man ko ya ni guase aka me si da sam be du de wo sa du nanim no e be shoke mo moma ko fom ho for sa because e na ko kantam na won tam no kan o kan ye rantam oka ye rantam no efie ma mpanyi fo se asabi koso e wo Ghana ha adulu bawu anya bebre na koso no achi before brother bebewu no busua no so nipa ne ye nya be wo ma omo ntia fe e to ba bani chega mo friend wa omo tu ni wiye ye no ohine na o hande krata aba semi me ye fekuo bi na se ayi bi a me ko bokọ aduna tire nipa ntam ya ne bia ne se enipa na ode oka ntam no se na asi o se na asi na Akosua ni na ohine na nkasa take the decision na de obe ya fa ho no wa ya fa ho na agisi esi obi abusua panyini ni asa na abusua panyini ma na nsa na de na ko ya wura nim de me de ho ne de minti bi da ya kan kore because nipa no ya de hye omude abusua panyini no ade free nsam no wa ma mpam na mfra abusua no so da so ya abusuani obi o ya de hye bia so tumi gina na so akira de hyesam e woni wura nim enti ani so obi ya abusua panyini kwa no be ka kantam ade agu ohene so se bi ohene no on deserve akonya no da bi obi abetumi aka sa wo ya de hye nko ade a na woni wa de hyesam na wa abusuani mu a enti so obi ya abusua panyini na ona so ya abusua panyini no so what we gina ni wura nim bokọ adu ka we cry opportunity anke betumi aboa ame a wa asam na koye wura nim fi se o kantam no ya abusua panyini ense bia Akosua mama no ne fiefo ne se omo mpe no enti nipa obeka ntam asabusua panyini no e ma ne so omatu no na ne so o kantam agu ne so kra so de krata akokot ama ba abontere na mabosa akọ na kire ya wura ona ntam ya ne bia no kire de obeye na yemfrafra abusua mesia na yenkase odaso ya abusua panyini ansa ne tumi na koye wura nim die me dia ho ne de e bia na me hia nchemu mo pa ni ntiase e ho ne de because me tiase ana me boa e ho ne nko ade me tiase e kire ma adwene bebre e tabusuafo won kama koma ntomo yem enya hu yeti poya ya na bia de e keka ye ni de ekosu na mpanyimfo bia tema course bia kokoko amoma ka atwa musa we bia ho ada ho tie bia mo sesa ma adwene enro me ka kira mo se ye betumi ama na sesa ye bia ya tesemu ye na montini so yi a obi e ka bi etumi boni pani huma ye ka se we bia ko bia ni nwanwa se pani bia kantam na abusua ne so mo tumonya abusua pani bi mu a me de sa wo ho obetumi akogina brani ma tire de kantam no abra onya abusua pani enti se na abusua pani ma no ansam ya akoye brani bi e ho de menti asie ti dia ke kan nyina nya ra ya ka obi aka bi obi esom ka bi ekumi so bo man sesa ko social media na obi a oso bi ya kan na mpanimfo bi atse we dia mu reason die anu odin e ho beda hododo e bia na asesa nema enti nema tumi sesa na ya de ye serious o na nsumi anya huma misa o me ha because I said obi ya ade na unim de kowie awie na eba na me twen sa ade no enya de na ani mu de na esisi enshada ha me bebre sa enshada ha me pa sa because untu ana morning na no nim say likely say bibi etisa ebetumi ati asabi ba ese wa nim de akokoso eti na na pa akoso yin no obi ankosi ayo onu obi ankosi ayo onu obi ankoye biti onu onko be onu obi anfa ba bia so wasa mutisa ade na ti ye pa onko onu obi ansi ahwe enkomodi ekoso a onu mu bie so de wa try letter na mo so wafo enti wa try de entamia ne bia no onu ho no wagina de entamia bia ndo de be no ho try ko so no so ayo hene yes fa ko bia ye woni ti fa kutere ye wo mu mpanyufo wa no so yo hene ti o ma ne ho kwa ma ne yonko hene mo obo na ni kire no minya so be yesa enti onu no ntu na mo nkosia obia onko ba bia enti nya decision na na pa akoso hene de o kan ne katra me to sometimes we see obi video I don't think that so onu nsesa ni decision kraka de ba o jira musa bema sa to mo popo mo ni kire no ma wo mo ni pai e be kan say e fake ni na strategy chese no mo hwese a oni ta be ba say kraka no mfom so fi sa abre no na hurehunu akwa ne so pa se wa fom sa abre na hurehunu akwa ne so no na nya hurehunu aketo a se wa fom tam onya amane enso sa abre kwa be ka say fake wan fa kraka bi a eno mo hu say ene na ni abre ani popo bi akwa so wa ne yama nso no pusuru kra enti ni nyina no oginam enti obaso ginam onya bibia wonu obi akohia se onana no ne na hie na bi obi ne na di nkomo no ate ase se ye mfa ne mra onka ho eye nkofo bi pa omobo ene de o matra so beye o himbo afu ne huwo because no so yo hene so de crack aba na wo so wafoma fa ne ko ni wuranim fani kwani ura na ka ne obi ka ne ntam gu ni so no fani kwa nanim nani ura na ntwe nanim no mfa na so twen ma no awon wajina eti de akoso no ono wontu na mo bia emfa ho enti se etunsa afra abusua bi na so obi ba kwa abusua na asem ohene ne de onu obi ankohia ye ni nkopɔ saa ne ho no etie enti nkofo bebre enananu asusu ye ohene nta so nto fama ne ka onto ana manko saa bra mu ni peka say ye fake no we catch on a strategy ani e peso ohene no e de krata bi ba say saa krata re ba bontire no emfiri ni ho enso ampuso no aginam obi adi na ade wafum ni wura mo a mo watumi sam bi ni kwani wura nim no o se mo fa ni kwani wura nim adai na no kura pa ni pampasi e da kasa adai entam no da ho no entam ne wo ho da na ka kire se na ne ka yie no ho aye na ye to park ye no saa bra na mo pa ni pa ka mo ye na mo pesa wi tinyina hu sa ye ni mo odu de wo ba ka kire na pa akoso he e ka ho aye no ya we edu ba bia mo pa no de aka mo ho ama de mo ye mo edu de a ene entam ni ho o ka mo ho obi a ya ka ntam agu ni so no afa de edu ba bi mo so o ka mo ho eno nko aso entam fom kase krata keke ba bonten dia eno de no so no so afuntam na da asem we bedro kase nanim no eni pa da fomfom na do so pa ya na ya me ya pa se edu mre bia ya na nkofo bi kasa eme bi eka okese no ya na ha me se bi kasa ma bi tia okese no na enti wi ase nyina be ye dia ma nipa nyina ye din ama samwei ayedi saa ma sante magua saa ensisa na eye sa eko hoyi ekoso na du ba bia enipa bia bembabu no metete ahwe o ka sa ko we akoso amre e wo sa bia babubu na bi san fra kire na pe ba bitina ndie ne beba no na enkofuko bi na gina mu atwi nkunimdie ne baaye ade we akoso sa ati secretary som anya beta sa because bibia ba asamasi society mu na it's alleged say abrimponfo bi ani atitiri bi asikafo bi business people bi ahye fa bi achi na wo ko a wudi obi a woni unyame nko a beta a wo je nyina yesu ni nsanyame wo fa ne wo nto ntam ti di antina open kunimdie ne ya je antina open kunimdie ne ya abraye nyina ni nsanyame fa ne bo a nto ntam asama akusu wudi obi a ayanka ka nam krom sampanyimfo bi aka efa bi achi ana wo panni bi anta wachi na nyame ani nipa adi do abeta wachi nyeso enim se de nyame ye na ade o mani pa pempem ana achichiri nipa ebe chichiri mu ana achichiri mu na makopem na o sane ho ani monyam anya sa anya yo ba na ni skani atwemanso obi o watumi na na atwemanso adise ebe nyame pese o sane ho ani monyam no eduru na no sa abre no na nkofo bi achichiri wo ho ama apem anu nko ani ani da so from day one sa wo ba sa ade we ma be gina ba bia wo gina no se na wonnim sa ade ani dia eni esua free ha dia ya ten cause me from day one asami siwi ya me wo odobroni team side check for ana me team side check ani ade abusua pani blogger nyina to mitiri so no me tira kire ya mu hwemu do masuko me hu sa da bi ani am akọ ni nkoyie kan okra kire de wo sa me kan okra kire no ye tena se ya kan okra mi nim dia wani mu bi ko wa we asam no anhuru sa dia asam ni siba ansa na wo huru ba bi a wo kasafa eti wa mu nyina sisi enim se betumi ati because to me wani ba bi asawo ana wo it's a lie say no mo twen eti wa mu nyina be sisi na awie ya no ye ni mu himfu bebre cases ye didi ani mu ene bebre tutu o made na me ka kire wo bebre suka kata nketo wo bebre ni anu onyam wo ye wura ni biem strategies ye ni sika ene di asam na ni mo but nyame bere mu no hye ne ho animonyam ebe shokew but sometimes obi wo ho a abusafo nya asam na wo ban mu me suggestion no ana ma adwene no me ka mentumi hye nipa ne se won fa opa no ofa wan fa mentumi nya ho hwe na adwene me susu se de bu a wo kira wa adwene ya wo kira na nipa na fa na ye enti wo jai nipa no anu omo akan na omo toto no omo tun atoto e fa praise God and fa praise God but the meaning is say maami Akosua Serwaa no a wo ta na chi en na drum be wo ya su say bibi Akosua wo se pie no ni nyina be pie wo de ma de Akosua nya ohu bi nse nkofo pia bembebu mu kra so ma twetwa mo no mam ento mama ebi so ma twetwa mu amu be so be ho am ntoma che so wo ra ho ebi mu so mu ntia asem bi biem ena na wo de ya wo ka betima me untimi kwa asem we ese sunsun untimi da opa ma asem we nkofom sa ye wura tu park ya mo peso mo de ne bai so tu sa ne ba opa ma ne nkofom e be kan say you know ana ya normal so e won se bi atiti say mu ni pare bra be ti egu e bi jina makwa enkuri bia botere beba enti media be kan kire wo say so wa no kra bia no kra hwe ya nyankopon mu onyam hye no eche nyame fa ne bo nto ne ntam ya nyina ya nim enti se wonim sa bia ne dia e de agiram ba bia be fa ya efi se enkunim bia botere no e beba na uka ho se wa nyina ma utimi sometimes ye nyina no ye twi pimpim continues bi pa Tr0uble bia na fi se bi kura na ayat bi ususu adwene bi ni pe fa ya nka efa but o man fa afa ba bi and so still I asam na aba na so hu no kro aginam e wasa wo konkoden ebre kwapem se nkunim bia botre ne baba en chance mo bi mewie o me dofo en chance mo bi mewie dia obi akika ni kwansa busua ntum minima busua ngina esie minima busua no omu gina esie so omu be dia tum so omu be kwa so omu nko minim ni nyina ye omu a wo betumi so aka we bi obi be fa bi obi mfa bi so na be bia apem no untumi nkasa wo nko ni nyina minim omu gina esie ya busua ne be ye de minim na emu ya nhwemu ya tamemu ya fa nyina ya tin komo ni nyina ya kwasu nyina de maye na ya di ka be kan kire wo amu hu sese esi na bi besi no eno no ensi so na ya de ya kanti na asem o si asem ya hunum enti adia ne de adia na tin so na tuam te se de akono a na ekokono a asamba obi atumi ka de ope na ba bi obi access koduru no ni obi aso de ntimi koduru ho obi so ho a de obi abeka kra no ehun tete ho no de be fafa ho a ebi kra no onya obi akra musa ni mu hwe na obi so betumi de gidi abeka so entumi nsi etikrom ha why na ditu mu say oba o de krata marriage certificate aqua court of competent jurisdiction say ye remember ne krata ya no kra waware under civil marriage ono nko a na ne kunu ware no ekwa wi ase ye bua customary marriage sakrata na dia beto na nim ne yanti ase why na wo so ohwe bi ehu sakrata no ya ware na mpa na ase ya wan na mpa sanka ye court na dwuma enso sesi wuti kroma obitumi nya adanse ba ko akira se ya ware no enso ya jin ko fotum so mo yere e wo kroma anu kra sidia dia na nsi biem wanwa yi ayaya yesi e de obi a wawuo abeto ho ni atumi atam raise akata ni pananim ni ebo amane na nso na yie na se ni wish ni ayo kwadwo wish ni ayo ya acha ni wi mu ye wie ni akohwe arela yesi wanya no obi ato ho Ni afra nipa na oka se kwadwa aya asare wi omu enti ni akata nanim ya fra no e bisa na o men ka se kwadwo wo wela na oni wi men ka sa nya na aka se ni wi emu adwuma na wo ye na ya de akata lezi akata nanim ne wi e na mo ya ama no ne woni wi omu afa de so on kan ya na se waka se kwadwo wo wi ni nyina anko na ya tamfunu every Heroes Park oba wi so what be da say a tamfunu say a kwa Akosie abusua panyina waso ogina ho mi siafunu obi kura o ka ho e ma ye no ye kapa anko na wasan nan ko gunsa e bi ade kwadwo e hyefom onu kura tamfunu no so hu ba bi ade ko ye na o sorry so odi a kire police force ya na say kan ko pe ba bi tena oba wi so what be da sam panyin say what be da ensi sa ya ba da dumba bu ka so ba ya yiro omo ka se mama me Akosua mu ni ade eye ni ntimi maso mu ntimi nya da omo ntimi nya ntimi maso ni be tira mu ka tira mu se hwe mu amara ni ba bia makofa aba no mi ye di wo mu a di do masukwa na de beto mu ni se ni bia ni ho be si eye ni kwan ombe ye na nya nkofo de beto mu ye amu ye because anybody be so side bi obusu die bi enti amaye hunu de ekopa nti baroma saa na tie saa entumi nsina enya amane ne de e mo amu nim sada dumba wo no amane ne ada ne danza munyina amu nim wo ba krom ha wate se abusua pagni ko atumi Akosie akoye abra nipa no wagu no ni wafafo ne nana ni nua ba panyina nko na nkate ati amiye ye onka ho wenhune da what bi da adia na nsi nyina asisi wo krom ha na drumba ye dehye e wo krom ha owu ye no ye de lete alo ya nsasa ase de bebo ya mane enso na busua panyi ti krom ha kana drumba we from day one adia na sisi ye nipa ba ko wo ade chance ye se no owu ya ade chance sei ade chance reason ya ka chance so owu no e from wa camp no ebre nipa ba ko adia na wonte ye ye bia na apesa wo mu a enane na ne ye adia ya nipa ba ko fo enti adia de na si a eye nwanwa e wo msa mudi makoma ne mo doctor akire but the sisi pa bebre de yetumi atam obi funu abra busua panyini no o atam o fa funu no anytime o musa betena asema nsuo ta kora tohwe wo mo yes ha de no Heroes Park wa obi a ye tam funu ayin fo ne kodra o mo yesi funu no e mo musa betena ye na se ayin fo ne betena ho efunu so yesi ade fa ka ya mfa plane enti we kuma se tunkran aye peda funu retama e peda funu eni pa bana no wa ye na se a free ho a ne wonte ho omo ano mo wa ye na se no pa ha na eni ho enti che so le kodra mi esi funu no ni nyina nsi krom ha enti de ba bia me dofo enu so ntwan ope na ye nhwe me de mo gidi e o ma ne se so far as what we say dodo na enya da bia enya saa na eye so many times we sisa emfa enti we nso yenhwe na sinsum pa enya nwanwa oni pa kwa bre nkran enso yedum ya cameras nanti ma awura mu a ma me so camera be ka tira mu koso obi ansi kwan koso ma kwa mi hwehwe mu final decider no etire mu a onye grounds mfiri obi ansam amunye program no etimi gira grounds wo kora ka tira mu sa mumro na program na ekoso na nkofo nyini etie nkofo wo ka wo de no wa wo gina ho na kwa ya hwehwe mu no ka tira wo mu no na o mu tie other platform ni opposition asem o mo ka sai maso eno na dilitiri mu dam chan wa wo gina grounds wo de wo ka no ara no de ya maso aba so enti so ma plan bibi na ye kwoti bi ebe ka tira wo de anya da bia na do mo plan no efa nya da bia na efa eti ko akoma to yam ka wakoma to yam na ya num nsuo ntwan wo pe Ni anhwe de ebesie. De ebesie no. Ehisam no ade de ebebo nipa hu no. Enti na na epesa wote. Na hu no. Anya he, asam wei, ya de akukuduro na ebi akire. Wa wuni akukuduro na wo muenta so nyi wunya menni no. Utumi ni akire nkwa wiye. Enkunimdie ne beba na hu sanfa ahomebo. Enkunimdie no eda asabu ebeba. Yana cases wo ha empese ba bo so ha. Ko bu ha na konya bi afiri nsam. Obu ha ahima bi na odi bi abono. Oni mposa kwanse na fa so aye wa asam no ekodu panyina ni. Oni etu da ya munya abotre. Won kama koma ntomo yam. Won kama koma ntomo yam. Amsafo bi ba man monyamfo ha. Wo de mesem won kama koma ntomo yam. Akukudufo pa na osedi asem yachi. Emran fo akoma nyina ni akire saa ne mo abamuhu. I was a decision where and chakra. A chum sado. Decision where Sabasumpa, a chum sado. What as a kind? And must have decision where we are them. A many more of them than chakra. A bed than me a best shocking. A best shocking. A bed you say, you know. A something me back. Young I or fear. Or be a na ina so esi de na asam de be dai o ina so esi de na asam be dai na to strategy ye hia ne se de wanya asam no obetie ye ya kwankyira ye de mamu ene abotra ye se twen na so obi nya asam ne atumi de strategy wo asam na ma ne koduru ye wuranim na atumi koduru wo nipa ne etu na medofo busa se sa asam ya amfa abotra ne nya ya enke betumi etumi ka cho sa asam si a e abotra me kasa na sa asem no afana na no bebrebe nsama twahia wo konkura ne ebo hu se na wo asem wei di 5 years wa nkosiaga asem wei 10 years kosiaga mo na mmetu ya dai nya ye bi the strategy bebre ya du ye wura ni ma me tutu wo enti kan akoma to yam adwene ya na ya but ye bi akoma nko ade akira emoa this strategies ka ho. Now sometimes you know, obi asem, wo wadwe nchira no, ofa ena enonko, wanfa untumi nya ne.
None of us were present. Emra ma ye kan nyina sie. None of us. Ntini nyina ye here say. Zabamu yi but
there were letters. There were things that the lawyers themselves brought out. They served her a letter. Anyway, maybe mom, this is how I'm going to answer to this question. I think say a very good semameno one may because she is the legal wife and she stands by her words. So the only surviving spouse of Charles Kojofosu, aka Daddy Lumba, and it's the truth. And I think that's by our own, not just a court verdict. No, but yes, Mama said no, I'm not coming. Yeah. What for? Oh, Debbie, what's that? Listen, Obi to me just, Obi to me because okay, Matilda, okay. But the actions, but say, I don't know, on due to. On due to, maybe I don't think I can't change the on due to move back to say.
Amendment of the letter of administration later or technology. The amendment one
the amendment of letter of administration in as of that time. I know just
Eugene, the fact that there's an amendment shows that initially in order for she just went as the wife, but then obviously, like someone said, I think it's bypassing. Well, someone said when the court may make a decision whether you like it or not, you're gonna have to go with it while she's in the process of appealing it. Obviously, she's not on to me that she's gonna get on top of it. Yes. So it's a bit disingenuous saying so but she has to follow the law. Yes, and at the same time, she's going through a process challenging that same verdict. So yes, we have to be fair because in one way, I say okay. When the judge's word is final and we have to follow, and that's what she's doing. But at the same time, she's appealing to show. So obviously, she's following the laws and she's following the rules of the land, but she's appealing it, and once the appeal goes through and it's accepted, that's when she can do whatever she wants to do. So it's again a bit it's quite disingenuous to say we're there to move, because what I didn't know yet, because that's what's expected of her. Do you understand?
What I don't understand is that some of the Ghanaians they want to tell us that they didn't see how the Ebusiapeni treated Mami Akosua Serwaa.
Sister,
Because
I can't say the
I don't know, be a blame on I don't know one bay yellow. Meanwhile, the Ebusiapeni Akosua TV so say you cry the certificate to be free. Baby, I want to question was continue town. What did my man want go say?
Yeni ba so na ade betia ma yayo, and the person was far away.
See through tantrums and also can be trained on. Now they can be trained with your penny and money here. Or not can be there, then you take offense.
No, but you can say what we like, so they have consequences. That's the thing. Everyone, but the fact is, everything that's happening, every action has consequences.
Oh, what did my man want grow? My man and you know, I'm born a cutia, yes, sir. I'm born a cutia. Me say one by the name, my man, one by name there.
Because there was a name in the power. Very far away in Germany.
You know something?
How was he able to come?
I was very 100% sure say Mami Ode say uncle Yenasi, but Obaye say Mama Hester, the gospel musician, she's my aunt. That can make me na at the form. Mami Ode since I Akosua intimi uncle dinitino. I'm on Obaye Yenasi. Though you were expecting her say Inka Obeko Velumba Yenasi. But Obaye and you say okay, I think I won't say okay, the Mama Akosua Mantina, and the man they were a yantu as a Mami de Waba Yenasi Babe winner. You hide there, Conoson Cop, not Conoson Conche, also candidate. But one man,
Serwaa on your side, Serwaa on your side,
once it doesn't affect anyone.
Eugene, what are you no question. So you know what Obusiapeni Kofi was, what he did and how he planned the funeral and everything. What's your thoughts about it? Like, what you're saying? Like, do you agree, sir, the funeral should have happened at that point or not?
Yeah, you know, because say Nako when see that as of now will still be in court. They will be like there'll be a whole everywhere. Everybody making the day. So once and for all, he should go to rest, and whatever happens afterwards.
Okay. Now, do you think that Lumba is resting? Do you think that Lumba is resting?
If he's not resting,
what would that Lumba nada? What would have you seen the grave? Have you seen the grave? That Lumba grave.
So this is the situation where we have two wives. Okay. I mean, we all heard Odobini's tribute, and we heard Mamina Obeya Dichadiano, whatever it's called, and we heard what she said. Yeah, and then imagine the other wife to come in, and you know you're now speculating, say, called the Mami or the Baba. And do you think that would be an appropriate send off for someone, a legend like Daddy Lumba? Yeah,
you are not all that familiar with the Ghanaian customs, but it's very normal. When Papa knows worry me son, a normal or something.
That is dysfunctional. And you're normal. It's dysfunctional.
Yeah. No, it's not normal. That's how you see. Listen, that's how you see.
If you're welcome to Ghana, a very dysfunctional.
But when you come to Ghana, it's normal over there.
No, but it's not normal. It's dysfunctional, and it's about time.
I'm not saying it's good or not, but I'm telling you, in Ghana, it's common. People do that.
Yeah, but you'll be an old.
So worry 2 or 3 years. That's how they do it.
If you're welcome to Ghana, the country that they don't want to change. They want to be called developed country, but they don't.
Why no? Okay, no. If you say that, I will do it. Because why should we change to take the white? Why should we accept people's culture?
If nobody said about white, nobody said. I said change. I said change.
Change to do what? We have to maintain the way we are. Why should we change?
Corrupt.
Because
The
it's
country is so corrupt. How are you maintaining something that is not working?
Dysfunctional. It's dysfunctional to have
What is not working? No, what is not working? You have to be specific. You have to be specific.
The nature of Ghanaian men is not working.
Yeah.
You know, some of our culture, we practices, it's now, certain things are not working. Honestly.
And even if you wanted to work.
What? Like, you have to give me an instance. Okay,
like what? The funeral now will say the two, if you have multiple wives, then because the thing is, yeah, do you know that?
Obviously, like what happened at the 1 week?
a mama who said a lot of women out there don't mind being in a polygamous relationship. Okay, so what should happen naturally is that the men are more polygamous. No, go for those women. There's also women and men who want to be one husband, one wife by ordinance, and those people too can marry themselves. Now, if you are married to someone, you know, and you start the whole relationship as, you know, it's just me and you, and then you want to bring somebody else in, whether you tell them or not, you have to give them the opportunity to say, I don't want to have any other wives in this situation. And then divorce, separate.
I agree with you 100%. But the woman in question knew from the start that Tr0uble is a polygamous one. We knew that Tr0uble say a
that is never true.
Adultery and polygamy are two different things.
Exactly. Thank you very much.
You will be a life or explore. Everybody knows that
yes, exactly. Exactly. That's why I'm
explore. Then I agree with you. But polygamous, unless not all this for worry too, did that?
Anything you say, Obi to said that Tr0uble no, Obi to mean your pregawo. And so no worry no.
Adultery
and who you so cheap because the end Obi to me, and the bit to me swap but say, well, call it the bluff and we'll go ahead. Say, may the baby,
our party that Tr0uble no is so worry.
Into we sure say me bao. Maybe so.
I didn't just want to be
sure say select no of anything to go by Auntie Akosua Serwaa. Yeah, investigation and then we can say my kiss say you want worry about it means she also knew something. Because my kiss say what worry about
Eugene in 2018.
So she said my Akosua need to 2018 say my tete because also na so to who say the be open but we dey eyesronko na matisa baya poti we no worry no so and when him said we in a bigamy so Akosua knew or investigation who said this particular lady is
and that Tr0uble can say
what letter we don't know what that Tr0uble said. We have truth in the Bible.
It didn't favor them.
Eugene, you know everybody mentions the letter. Everybody mentions a lot of the things in the verdict, but they don't mention the key points where both Mame Akosua and Mpoma stated say Mame no when she raises the issues with her husband, like the 2018 letter and other times now. Nani could not apologize and they sort out the differences. It was said in the verdict, but never because people always say,
"Oh, no, we are talking about 2018 letter. 2018 letter." Akosua been for months and the moment I called the catcher and say, "On yet no quaffo no dear, men cannot sing him."
Okay, which is fine. Leave it
and he said the same. The court said the same about Ebusia Penny.
Even Mame Akosua Serwaa, she mentioned, sir, when she raised it, and her lawyer, it says it in the plaintiff statement, sir, when she's raised on several times that when there's issues, her husband would then apologize. They will sort out our differences and they move on. Okay, so nobody is thinking, sir, 2018, all the letters, obviously there's no divorce. Okay, so clearly
that was Akosua Serwaa okay, but it's not for nobody to talk about to say the same as ending tomorrow.
Yeah, but
I'm saying you were saying something. You were saying something in the letter. In the Akosua the side you say what times are almost now that is back every panacho everything say. That is from Akosua side. There's nothing to contend say no cry and no ye ubini ni kunasem. And also be come so
Eugene with the what customer sign to check. Wow. It's Akosua side. That letter no the buy was Akosua side. Yeah, until Lumba side. But you are using it against her.
And the letter was also the key fact about this letter. Eugene, you know the key fact about this letter is that that letter is from Mama Akosua to her lawyers to Daddy Lumba. It's neither Mama Akosua, neither the lawyers, neither Daddy Lumba who leaked out that letter. And like it said in the verdict, some people with malicious intent took the letter that was hidden.
This particular case leak
with malicious intent.
Daddy Lumba document to the court. Say that Lumba is a German citizen. Who leaked that one? And then my question is
but that's not leaking.
That's not leaking. If somebody says somebody is a German citizen, that's not leaking.
We all knew that he's a German
citizen. She provided everything detailed. Said, oh, listen.
She provided it to the court.
The court
she provided it to the court.
There will be a court name said Lumba is a citizen.
No, because it's very important.
Lumba is a citizen. What do you?
I'm saying.
Eugene. No, listen. You are a very intelligent person. Don't do this.
Eugene.
Opia nemba wa wo Ghana kita German passport no. Osi obi enim said na oye onye citizen e na ko ba
na. No, listen.
When you say na Lumba German citizen. When you have.
And I make a choice say once there is an evidence and a more Ghana nyina one more Germany or more Ghana nyina or passport or dog winning call for Nankasa be confirm say collect
me I know for a fact to say Lumba was a German citizen because I watched his video. Most of his videos now and I know that he married in Germany.
Eugene, some of us we grew up in the Netherlands. We grew up next to Germany. We knew. A lot of us knew.
We knew it.
We didn't know anything.
Oh, we knew it. I don't watch that music videos, Anna. Don't you watch his music?
Oh, come on. Sister,
no, but the thing is, you have to remember that
we know it.
Preview to information doesn't mean the information has to be said. Generally, so be any said that it means.
Okay, Eugene, I agree.
This court issue. Not meaning that say Lumba or your German citizen.
I never
knew. Say or your Santinian private.
The same way now. The same way now. You will be there, see him. But the same way now, Okano. And now, if you also didn't even know Dobroni till the court assembly by. They never knew that girl.
Then end of story. Why are you still prolonging to say the teacher on you after the court?
Eugene, can I Eugene, Eugene, to you say a lot of people didn't know say Daddy Lumba was a German citizen and then through court documents brought it out. I don't know what your point is, but that's the right procedure because she was saying sir Tr0uble and she wanted to say sir the Ghanaian customs and laws can't apply because only Ukraine are German citizens. So there was an aim there, there was a goal there, okay, and the documents went through the right procedure and was presented in court. Court is, if you have a dispute, court is the place where you do that. But the meme can say that letter no, was releasing it on YouTube or wherever they were releasing it. What's that got to do with court? How does that person when I've never seen that person and that Lumba having any meaningful relationship
how did they get hold of it?
Such a letter. That's the issue here. And to say
who is leaking information?
And the
before the court, that sermon
without prejudice.
Now back out to say Lumba is citizen.
Because there was an official statement to the lawyers. There was an official statement to the lawyers. I don't remember the last time that person who leaked Daddy Lumba's letter was a qualified lawyer.
I don't want to talk about that lady because I don't want to talk about that lady. What I'm talking about
me neither.
Say, Akosua, a preview say, Lumba, who bet you use the Akomiki case or quarter. Odobroni also has the same right to say also.
She also had the same right to do that. But why not say she hasn't got the right? I never said she hasn't got the right.
But why is he leaking? Why is he leaking document? Why the police say in a document?
Eugene, into your saying, sir. Bringing letters. Bringing letters to court. Yeah, it's not Dobroni's letter, by the way. Even if I can't go and think a letter or be a child, mommy, mommy kunu. I can't go. It's not my letter.
But the lawyers no copy. The lawyers had a copy of that.
If let me ask you a question.
The lawyers had a copy of that letter, or you don't know?
Yeah, let me ask you a question. Who told you, say, some Odobroni leaked the letters?
I didn't say it was Odobroni. If it was Odobroni crime, I didn't say it was Odobroni. The person
who leaked the letter? Who leaked
I'm not going to mention the name. It's not Odobroni. It's someone that we all know who it was. Yeah.
Storage. No man can be kakra. Storage. Man can be kakra. So let's go back to UTV. It was a penny say. No Lumba, no lawyer be horror.
If you tie them up with the same question.
And they were having that letter. Jomokra na ma ebusu pen no who say mama no kra the letter be abasisi.
Who had it? Sorry,
so that copy. Let's say UTV, let's go back to UTV. Ebusu penny essay. No Lumba lawyer be before these lawyers. That lawyer no. And this copy this lawyers no. It
was even out there. The Japamesa sent a letter to them, and they were gathering information to the court. And when you are gathering information to the court, any information you send to the court become a public document.
I have a question.
So what's the big deal about this?
I have a question.
Why are we making a big deal about all this?
Did you guys hear this directly? Did you guys see the transaction, whatever went on? Did you guys see it, or you are just hearing something that somebody?
Transaction, babe. What's transaction?
Giving the letter to them, the transfer of the letter from one law firm to the other. That was transaction going on.
I didn't say somebody transferred a letter to somebody. When you ask a question, can we all talk and just make the conversation nice? You ask a question, we answer you. Immediately, as a lawyer, or law firm as big as Daddy Lumba is, or law firm. Now we'll move from another law firm to another one. All legal documents or whatever documents you have, you transfer it to your other firm. That's how the
story.
In America, will say it's one basic thing that everybody do. So
certain things are basic, but it could be hearsay in this situation.
That's how it is.
This is the truth. And I said, Baba Jama, what do you do?
The truth, man, basic.
The fact that it's basic does not mean that's what happened.
That's how it works. I didn't want it basic, and that's how it works. We shouldn't be arguing about this.
That's how it works. Did you see any legal documents from that if it's a law firm?
Legal document,
Storage. So basically, if the letters we are going to accept that Daddy Lumba suddenly after his death, obviously he transferred law firms, which is fine. We can accept that, and his legal documents and whatnot were transferred. Now he's got this letter. Okay, so where is Daddy Lumba's response? Because apparently the response
which letter?
The 2018 letter from his wife asking for divorce. Okay, making known her intention to divorce because of a few things that's going on. So, where is Daddy Lumba's response? Because it's either a response of him.
I'm asking you.
Let me land 1 second. It's either a response of him diffusing the situation, which obviously the other side wouldn't want to come out. Or it's a response of Daddy Lumba saying, which they would work in their favor. So why is that response not out? How come now all of a sudden letters NASA?
Sister.
And if you have the answer, you can answer her. But if you want me to talk to her, I can talk. Because we are doing education. So I don't know if you have read the content of that letter now. If you have read it, you will know. Say, it's a letter. You don't actually need a response. You don't, because nipa ne tro letter in the braille was stating we must say after 10 days man te won can may the SMA. If you write such letter to somebody for a divorce, it's two things involved. Either so overthrow na waka ho asem, and also call the bluff so quiet the opposite away.
So how do we know so free and answer one free?
That question is not meant to me. Your throw letter and so Kobu's a response if you know say, Mammy, me pa that the Lumba respond.
Because that's
text message bro. If you are text message bro. Me the message bro. Na me part me delete na me the abasem di beku animasia. What do? You bring my response that I sent to the world for the world to know.
Okay,
it is not meant to if there should be any reply.
Okay, so storage. Basically, the response is either, so the possibility is either say that the Lumba friend and our Musotomo differences and they remain married. Which would make sense.
Because after 2025,
when they went to court, this is and then I will say I'm doing this. We can all have a nice conversation. If you want to talk, you just tell me you want to talk.
Sorry, I apologize.
That's the basic that we do. Yes. Yeah.
So my think I said why.
Question, Keke.
Oh no,
question. I don't know. Yeah, also question.
You know the way they nyamena do me ho ye. Before I have a submission to me, but before then, I have a question for storage. If I heard you right, you were saying that once you change your lawyers or your law firm, are you saying emphatically that once that happens, you have to transfer all documents from the previous law firm to the new?
That's basic. That's what I said.
Okay. It's not always so. You know, you agree with me that there are times you change law firm because you disagree or you believe that you and your previous law firm you are not on the same level. You agree?
The same level.
Yes.
What is not on the same level?
You don't. There are situations you give your lawyers instructions and they go and do something otherwise, and you change your lawyers because they do not stand for what you stand for. In that case, you do not have anything to do with any document that will not even be in your interest. So it's not always true that when you change law firm, of course, you have forced this down our throat that Daddy Lumba changed lawyers from so and so to Baba Jama. That one you forced it down our throat. We have swallowed it bitterly. But to say that it is incumbent on the previous law firm to transfer all necessary documents. So, in fact, that letter that was sent to Baba Jama, it is unethical. You understand me?
How is it unethical? How? Which part of it says it's unethical?
Baba Jama
under what law does it say when a client transferred their documents to another law firm it's unethical? Where is it coming from?
Sorry, can I say something?
Baba Jama and Co. will not be able to appreciate the circumstances under which those letters were. You see, now we are contending with letters of response from Daddy Lumba we cannot find.
When it was brought in court, they responded. And it was unethical. When you are sick,
I understand what you are saying.
So the important point I want to make is that it is never obligatory for a law firm to transfer documents to a new law firm.
The fact that I'm saying basic doesn't mean say you are required to do it. I'm saying say a line of action sanity. When you are sick in America, there's a database here. We are now, where they transfer it to another physician. So when you go, they have your primary care. And primary disease and there was secondary one. What is unethical about this?
Those are apples and oranges.
Those are not apples and oranges because you have not stated any unethical thing. At the party,
Storage, can I come in? It's the basic facts because what file documents from your previous legal Untimin Kotran and not on starter. So the new lawyer want to know where and what happens are. And son on at your case. You can't say you hide those things at the blind side. No legal, no lawyer will allow you.
So upon the instruction of who?
I know helpful case. What are you talking about? Please.
But I'm asking you transfer those documents upon the instruction of who? Your client or the position of your
if storage listen, if storage is my former lawyer or attorney and I'm coming to you and I said, okay, I don't want storage again to continue handling my cases. I transfer it. I'm coming to see you. The first thing you ask, what is the litigation that I'm going to litigate about? And you want to what has I filed before? How is the case? I can't come and sit in front of you and just blah blah blah. I have to show document. And the document, this is my file. And don't make us see mean transfer. Transferring doesn't mean say it could be in the wire thing or at the file. They have to present to you, baby, storage the case there too. And this is how it is. That's not also worry. What you make us say no? It's a basic logic.
Kobe, can I ask you? Kobe, can I say something?
Please, wait a minute.
I just have a comment to make, because this case, the 20. But we're mixing it, we're conflating a few things. The 2018 letter is not an ongoing case. So what you're describing is that you're. Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you now.
Yeah. Let me say, the 2018 letter, no, it's not as if it's an ongoing case that is in court. Because what Kobe you're describing is that what case is saying you're switching practices. Okay, obviously you're gonna have to.
Let me try. We are not even talking about a case here. We are talking about you being a fear and as a prominent person, and you are changing your law firm. When you are changing your law firm, we are not even coming to that Lumbe's case. It's practical example that we are all making here. You are rich. A fear has a company. A fear has this. Now, no wife when the issue. I'm not saying it's a divorce now, but wife are trying to be a bro. You know, so for this letter, no, it can come into legal action anytime soon. I think it's basic rules that all transfer documents or go through another law firm. You will send it to them.
Okay, so going back to my point, sorry, I'm not disputing that's a possibility. But what I'm trying to also make clear is that this is a letter of 2025. So we're talking about 8 years ago, or 7 years ago. Okay, there's no guarantee or there's no certainty, sir. That letter was of any relevance, and we don't know. The other thing is as well, we actually don't know when Baba Jamal's practice was appointed to be Daddy Luma's lawyer. And actually, that's the other thing. Again, it will just be like backwards and forwards. But today, we can't say it was Baba Jamal, Daddy Luma actually appointed Baba Jamal's firm as his lawyers. Because so far they're representing Additional Penny.
It's a man
and no, but you don't know. If you can give me a document to show something. Storage. But we don't know.
Storage can also be a possibility.
May say, okay, fine. Let's for instance say, Daddy Lumba previous the law firm no. So much transfer everything for Baba Jama. That means in this case, Baba Jama not breaching confidentiality. You know that. Storage.
Again, so who is complaining?
What sense no breaching confidentiality?
Because the fear trust in Ghana, they let the better out.
How does it end up? Yeah. How does it end up?
Who doesn't mean say on the wall.
No.
Doesn't mean say on the wall.
No.
That's it. Yeah, same way.
What is
Ghana Web, that one comes Ghana Web every year.
Confidential. How can a letter like that come to Ghana Web?
Because it became a public document.
It's not a public. It's not a public document.
After the court,
after the court,
how did the document come about it?
Sorry, okay, say your response now young code.
When the letter came out, Mami Akosua Serwaa went to the previous law firm, to ask for the reply that the Lumba gave her. She was looking for the reply because people were saying all sorts of things, so she wanted to like show the reply for people what that the Lumba wrote to her. So we don't know. Like I don't know why you people are talking about this letter.
There is this question.
Let's stick to this. Also, what your letter abre ukunu. And a ukunu law firm I responded. Abro. Who say ukunu law firm hobby as a letter be? Like let it be. Like what do you reply? Woman on the pedestal for
Sorry, you've never misplaced a letter.
One can misplace in her statement. She never said misplace. She made it seem that the woman had no letter, no response.
Sorry, me and you both don't know if there's a letter or there's a response or no response.
That's why I don't know if there's a or court to say a block. Responding, letter. What's a woman? Me Akosua say wow. Stop playing on intelligence.
No.
The whole point is that
if she called it a bluff.
I think again we're deviating from the point. The whole point is that that letter was being used to say Wajai warrior, but actually that letter doesn't prove that. That letter only proves that she raised grievances and she had an intention to divorce.
We are not even talking about the intention of the letter. The whole point of the letter even wasn't appreciated in court. That letter now kind of cry. The court didn't make no verdict on that.
And you can bring
my point is that there's a lot going on in this case whereby such a letter is out in the public domain from a very questionable source. That was my
Sorry. The issue is letter we know in question is the party or the lawyer for like make can say client for those law firm no. Are they releasing the letters on behalf of the client and not who is the beneficiary in this case?
That's what I'm asking.
Who is the beneficiaries in there? Because
the lawyers are acting on the instructions of their clients.
Exactly.
Yes.
And the client is no more.
Exactly.
So who are the beneficiaries?
Kwesi, when I start making my statements, first letter now I'm throwing in response to Mami Akosua Serwaa. Listen to me and listen to me carefully. Baba Jama our position has always been until say Mami Akosua Serwaa court now. They did not recognize Mami Akosua Serwaa as a wife.
And that document was in effect, it was not. It didn't carry any weight in any court.
That is what I'm saying. But on this case, listen to me. We are not talking about the content of the letter or how it was used. We are specifically on who released the letter. I don't think I can want them to see it. And I'm telling them, say, whoever released the letter, it's neither here or there. Because at the end of the day, everything about send the lawyers, because we cannot underestimate that Lumba. He's a big person. It's all documents are supposed to be transferred. Which one was you wouldn't be say a basic rules?
Sorry,
So
a few points.
It should be that way.
A few points here. When you say
this letter, no, any lawyer could raise serious objections with this letter. If the court wants to use a backdoor approach to admit this letter like into evidence, why am I saying that? Letter, no, it doesn't carry any instructions or reply. It is just verbal reply. Now, lawyers say that they call the woman bluff, like I'm calling the bluff. But then there is no written instructions detailing their alleged separation or divorce. And he said, if the lawyers come out as lawyers, they know say they deal with documents and they cannot provide any documentary proof to support their client's claim.
I'm not talking about the weight and what that letter would do. That's not the debate I'm having here. And I'm being in cancer letter no baby be amame. And a court and me I will not make my argument on that letter.
That's a very good point.
But I've never said anything about the letter. Letter and release it by. I'm saying it's a basic rules of transferring letters from one to an end.
From your former law firm to the new law firm, if you are changing law,
it's not my concern.
Sorry,
I only came in
the letter came out. The letter came out because
when storage, you were saying emphatically that it was more or less obligatory.
Bro, I did not say that. Man, can't be Listen to me, sir. Don't come and use certain adjectives. Don't come and use certain adjectives that I have used.
I'm not saying you use the word
for your submission. Me and the woman here, me and the ladies here were talking about Omubusam, and I'm saying it's just a basic rule, which Akosua understand. So when any document here, you transfer it. So you can't say be a basic and your mandate to share a change I can't say a change but I'm just saying say a sanity in line of action. That's how what happens.
You seem to be saying
so. If that's why
sorry basic. If you use our adjectives name and
I think what we're trying to say is that it implies.
If you have not said that, then I'm okay.
Yeah, but what we're trying to say is that it implies that's because if you read the comments now, people are saying it's a requirement, it's a this, it's a that. So I think that's what Mao was saying. But also
stick to me, what's it story to say? What's the story to say? When you are communicating, make sure say your words matches what the person is saying. Storage, my question. Don't use other people for me. I catch us the comment session or your comment session. So you
sorry. Going back to the point, we'll say the lawyers they released it to make a point because almost say because I'm a letter to ma'am and almost say wajaya warrior. Okay. And so you're saying the lawyers who are acting on behalf of Daddy Lumba are telling his wife, who a year before, this letter was 7 years ago, and then in 2027 he maintains that this woman is his wife. But then his lawyers who are supposedly working for him after his death are saying, my jail warrior. That doesn't add up.
We as an American, I'm not defending anybody. That the Lumba say now will be resist our objection. They say that the Lumba lawyers no more working for almost ban a life 3 months before so even if it's 2 days. That's your recommendation. Say the lawyers are they are almost the lawyers. Sebi you mean come mama njeba no sibonyo that the Lumba no kofa lawyer.
No, storage. Missing how do we know? How do we know, sir?
30 seconds before so be Ukraine lawyers.
That's fine. Yeah, storage. You're right. Storage. You can't in a crow. But what my question is that how do we now know, sir, without any form, a legal document, but that is being signed by Daddy Lumba or legal communication with Daddy Lumba. How do we know that he instructed the law firm to fight
law firm? If you need any information, you can write to them.
Even that document now,
the law firm is still operating. If you need any information, just write to them. They will give you.
Even that document now, there's a lot of documents that came into court. A court then used for the verdict.